We're going to call the meeting to order. Say the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want to do roll call?
Ms. Silverman? Jean Rhino? Here. Tom Price? Here. Cindy Yasi? Here. And I'm here. Cindy Smith.
Approval of the agenda, I would like to delete legal. And I'm wondering if we should add something to it. What do you think?
Just about the bills to be paid would make the most sense.
Okay, so just wait then.
I know you can add it, but above the bills to be paid, you want to do it before.
Okay, and also I need to add the ball diamond.
Where do you want to add it?
Where do you guys want to put it? Where legal was, how's that? We want the cemetery at the very end. Correct? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with corrections and additions and deletions.
Motion to approve the agenda. There's no additions.
Yes, additions and deletions.
Yes.
Second.
It didn't help that I didn't say the right person. Motion been made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Any public comment? Yes, Rick. Yep.
I guess this is just a, like a public service announcement. As you know, I've been in the septic business off and on for 30 years. I brought letters from the sewer plant. We all have septic tanks in Caledonia Township, every one of us. The sewer plant has cut off all the haulers. They're gonna close and not receive septic waste in another week and a half. So, besides the haulers, and this affects everybody from Mackinac and Sheboygan, close their plant to septic waste. I called every facility in the state of Michigan north of Standish, Traverse City. Nobody will take the septic waste from septic haulers. They have enough on their own. The state of Michigan has no answer. So we've spent $130,000 right now to get back in the land application of septic waste so we can stay in business. Otherwise, we'd be done by the 1st of July. The plant's gonna close. They raised the rate so staggering anyway. We used to pay 3 cents a gallon, and now they charge 15, which comes to $150 per 1,000 gallons, and average septic tank is $1,000. So our disposal fee in April was over $12,000 at the sewer plant. Now I pleaded with the city council to no avail, okay? They're not gonna stay open. I asked them to stay open to give the haulers more time to figure out, and the state to figure out what we're gonna do to get rid of the septic waste. The mayor told me it's not their concern what the citizens in the rest of northern Michigan do. Their only concern is for the citizens, and they're gonna close the plant to all the septic haulers. So we have no choice but to try to get back on the land, and that's what we're waiting for, the final approval. I have a site in Hawes Township, 40 acres, and we've applied through zoning to use 5 acres where we're at on Hubert Road. We have to screen the septic waste, and we're gonna go to injection. So we're gonna inject the sewage. We had to buy a 250 horse tractor, yada, yada. But in the long term, it's more effective because there's gonna be haulers go out of business all the way from Mackinac City, south to Standish. State realizes that. They said they're in a dilemma, but they have no answer. So we're doing what we gotta do, and otherwise the price of septic tanks is gonna skyrocket more than, it's up over $300 now. When I first started doing this, we did it for $65. I could see where it could go to $1,000. And the drawback to that is you guys don't want your legislatures, like last year, they tried to pass a new ordinance sanitary code, and it didn't pass the legislature because, and it's a good thing it didn't, because they're gonna mandate you pump your tank every 3 to 5 years. So one end of the state wants to force more septic to be pumped, and the other is watching everybody fold, and the prices are gonna escalate, because there's not gonna be any haulers. And the haulers that are there, it's a capitalist system, I charge whatever, because if you don't like it, get somebody else, well, there ain't gonna be nobody else. They're gonna be very limited at who pumps. So, if you're gonna get your tank cleaned, you might wanna do it in the next few weeks, while it's still halfway reasonable. We don't plan on raising the rates, actually, we should keep it there and maybe able to drop it, or once we get going and land apply. But I brought some information on land application, and I brought some contact information to DEQ or Eagle, if you want to call and ask them any questions. You're lucky if they answer the phone or return the call. They won't do it. But, and then I also got a guidance manual if you want to do it. I didn't print a bunch of them out because there's like 157 pages of how we have to follow the land by septic waste. And most people are turned off by the thought of human waste being put on farm fields or injected. We're going to subsurface inject it. So I just wanted to make a public statement that Northern Michigan is going to be in a big dilemma here by the middle of summer. Because most people, they haven't publicized it in Alcona, what it's going to do to outlying areas. So people call and they want $600, $700 to pump your septic tank. But as advice, I would watch what happens this year. If these legislatures start talking about this sanitary code, and I didn't have time to print all that out either, but if they're talking fines if your system's not up to date, mandatory inspections, mandatory cleaning or pay a fine, and if your system's not up to date, maybe up to $1,000 a month fines if you don't replace it. And you really can't let your legislature pass that. You know, I'm all about pumping septic tanks, but I don't like government intrusion forcing people to do what they don't need to do.
I can talk on that one.
With that?
I can talk on that.
Yeah, okay. So just watch what goes on. You can't even hold a job anymore without watching what they're doing in government, because next thing you know, they pass stuff, and then you wonder how that happened. But that's what's happening in our industry. I just want to be everywhere, because we all got septic tanks, and if you get sticker shock, you know, I had a competitor in Alcona call me and said, Rich, let's just take it to $500 right now so we can put the money in our pocket. Well, I said, no, I'm not doing that. And number one, a conversation like that is called price fixing, okay? I'm not going to do that. And he hasn't made a move, so he was going to be probably out of business by August, because he has nowhere to take it. There is nowhere that'll accept us. And the state has no answer to talk to everybody I can talk to at the state of Michigan. So, just want to let everybody know what's going on.
Can I ask a question of what you said?
Go ahead.
The injecting thing that you're talking about, how long would that actually last as far as years for you to be able to continue to do that with the area that you have?
We're really restricted on nutrients. We all have to take, I've been at land application when I owned Alcona Septic for over 20 years. And they actually use, one of the pictures on there is the site that I built when I owned Alcona Septic. They use it as a guidance manual. It depends on the crop. You have to take the nutrients back out for whatever you put in. Whatever you're gonna grow, there's a guidance manual. And we can put 25 to 65,000 gallons an acre of sewage out, depending on what we're gonna grow. We have to grow a crop to remove the nutrients back out of the soil. So we're really strictly regulated. You just can't go out there and dump sewage. You have to, there's all kinds of record keeping.
Okay.
And that, if you glance through that guidance manual, you'll see it's pretty intense.
Okay.
So, if you manage the land right, you can do it forever.
Okay, that's kind of what I was trying to
You
figure out.
can't just load it up with sewage and then go away.
Right.
They're real strict, more strict than they are with the regular farmers.
I would almost think it wouldn't be, well, it's different. It's gonna be different, but how different would it be in comparison to taking cow manure and
Big
spreading
difference.
it on?
If you ever want to go to a land site, even my ex business there isn't the odor. I had a customer complain one year, quit putting it on, I could smell it. He put it on this weekend. Well, I got him in the truck and we drove over to Osneek. And told him we're in surface applying manure. And that, I don't know if you guys have smelled it, but in the right day, you'll smell that all the way over here. But he accused me.
You of being that.
Yeah.
And it's not you.
But I used to lime, what we call lime stabilized, using hydrated lime, and that kills the odor of the surface applied. And the the cattle guys could do it too, but it's another expense, they don't make enough money. If
Right.
they stabilized all their manure with lime, you wouldn't catch that order that you're catching now, but that's it, they're not gonna do it, because they can't afford it, price of milk's already going up, so they're not gonna do it, but it doesn't, I would be willing to take anybody on a tour of all the guys that I've known in 30 years that landed by throughout the state, and nobody has odors, or nobody's dumb enough to neglect those laws.
Okay,
Number one, any law we break in here now since 2006 is a felony,
okay.
so you're better off doing drugs than you are putting stuff on the ground illegally.
Right, right.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
so there's really good information in that.
yes, and I didn't print it all out, but I brought a bunch of papers if you want to look on the website,
Right,
on land application and septic waste, you'll see it all the regulations.
okay. Thank you for the
All right.
information.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Now that subject I have already scheduled for us to be pumped out at the North Center. I think this week.
I guess I should put in, yeah, but that's when we see it, right? It's here. I thought it was on. Yeah, anybody else?
Any other public comment? This, there's been rumors going around, and I just want to address about the fire department bank account. They were very disheartening to our fire department chief. But I want to make it really clear that nobody changed the millage that we collect. The millage wording has always been the same. It is Caledonia Township that the millage goes to, and the purpose is for fire services. That's all we spend the money on. We can pay whoever we want, as Cindy said. We can hire Midland to come up here, and we can pay them if we want. But as long as we're paying for fire services, then we're not breaking any laws, we're not doing anything wrong with the money. I just want to make it clear, there's no violations there. Our sign is up at the Ball Diamond. I want to thank Lindell, Martin, and Wilson Miller. They went up and put a new wood backstop up, and it is really, really nice. They did an excellent job. Austin Builders has donated material, and I need to get with the boys because they said they would redo our benches and our dugouts. So we're still working on that. The sign is up. It looks great. And also thank you to the Goodwood family for making all diamonds first. I mean, it's been years that they let us use it. I think that's it. Cindy's reading. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes from May 13th? Do you have any concerns, corrections, or anything? No? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 13th meeting minutes.
I'll support.
Motion's been made and approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Did you have other things you wanted to say?
No, I actually don't have anything.
Oh, gosh, and I asked.
I know tonight you asked me, I didn't have it.
Hey, do you have anything? I have your newsletter on here twice. I had it under you and I have it on the agenda, so wherever you want to put it.
Oh, okay. First, we got the deposit from the grant,
Yes.
and that was in the S1 account, so I'll move that to money market, because we get no interest there.
And that's all right.
That's what I was thinking.
The grant's closed, right? We're not completed.
Papers unapproved and the,
I'm getting the tax roll ready. I have to send them, like, by the end of the week to the printing company. So I've been working on the tax bills, so you'll be looking for them. But I'm also going to switch to BSNA payments instead of all pay for that because it's supposed to be a lot easier.
Okay.
Instead of like when people want to look at their tax bills online, it's through BSNA. They can look at them there, and otherwise they'd have to switch to another website to make payment. And so now they're going to hopefully be able to do this all in one spot, and it's supposed to be much easier and user friendly. So I'm in the process of switching all of that, and we'll have to update that, like the link to on the website. But I've done a lot of research on that, so hopefully it's a smooth transition, and it will be ready by the time the tax bills go out on July 1. And yes, I just wanted, if you guys want to put anything else on that, we have to proofread it. I will put that in our tax bills. That was.
I already called you with my suggestions.
Yeah. Well, Cindy added stuff to the front,
Oh, okay.
and then there's still space on there that we can add stuff.
One of the things I added was the Adopt a Grade program.
Yeah, that's the one that I think we were talking about making sure we got on there. Yeah, I'll have to add it.
So we can just let you know that I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, I think I have till Tuesday before PCI has to have all of everything, so.
What I'll probably do is ask her to put the application for election workers on the site, so I can reference it here.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they should have to call me for it, or they can just print it off and
I mean, we have
turn it in.
the forms tab on the
Yeah,
on the website, so.
I'll get that set up so it's easier to
There
access.
also is a spot on the website that
jobs.
says,
Japanese or something like that.
it says something about a home drop box for the treasurer, because the
It used to
previous
be
treasurer was at her
downstairs.
home
Do you-
instead of this drop box, so we need to change that also.
Do you want to send him a message or do you want me to?
I don't care.
It's up to you.
I'll make it.
I might write something up about the donation of Gaelic baseball diamond. You can add it, and that the Northern Park grant's complete, should we put that in there?
You just have to have proofread it. That was all that I had.
Okay.
We did not meet this month.
Thank you, sorry.
We didn't meet this month.
Planning commission, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Jim? I think you should take a look, should you?
I don't think
Well, I don't know either. I don't know if you can do these two ways.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. May is always a busy month for myself and all veterans in general. We put out all of the U.S. great flags were put out on May 20th, a little earlier than I wanted to, but the weather wasn't very conducive to doing it just before the Memorial weekend. So my wife and I put them out. I'll have to share that check with her. And I want to tell you, it was cold. I made mention of it in my notes, but I can tell you it was 42 degrees with a 23 mile an hour east-northeast wind, and it felt like 33. That's nippy.
But your wife said you made it all the way through without missing one, finally.
First time since we've been doing it that we get all the way through and never miss one veteran. First time.
That's awesome.
I also added a new veteran to our list of veterans preferred in in the cemetery. Charles Edward Hanna, Major, United States Army, Vietnam. So that brings us to 208 veterans.
No kidding. 208.
We have 200. 208. So we used 213 flags. We have 5 veterans out there that served in 2 wars, so I give them 2 flags each. So that's why we used 213. That was my idea to do it. Now these veterans are William Conwell.
Give them mine. Try it. Try mine, Jim.
Pull it back a little bit from his mouth.
Yeah, try it.
The 5 veterans. William Conwell served in World War II in Korea. Charles Heacox, Spanish-American War and World War I. Lee Van Irwin Jr., World War II in Korea. Hugh L. McKinnon, Spanish-American War, World War I. And Carl A. Peterson with 2 T's, World War II in Korea. Now I have an issue with this Lee Van Irwin Jr. I was doing some more research on this gentleman, and his spouse, Darlene, maiden name Erstad, she applied for a bronze military grave marker on 5 September 1970 through Bannon Funeral Home, signed by Harold W. Bannon. The application was signed by his spouse and the Caledonia Township clerk at the time, Mrs. Frank Hansen. That bronze marker is still missing. So I was in town today, but I didn't have time to go over to Bannon Funeral Home. I don't know whether they have records going back 55 years or not. But that bronze marker went someplace, and it's not in Pleasant View Cemetery.
What do they cost you?
They're around, last time I checked, they were around $700. They're actually free through the VA, so. I want to say a big thank you to the Hubbard Lake Fire Department for filling up our water tube at the cemetery. She is full, the one sitting by the shed. And everybody should know that water is there for everybody to use. My wife and I, we attended the tap ceremony at the cemetery on Memorial Day, which was held at 3 p.m., which is the moment of remembrance time when you're supposed to take some time out and pray or be quiet or think about what Memorial Day is about. And so I just want to say a big thank you to Supervisor Cindy Apsey for initiating that. That was very nice. Very nice.
We'll get bigger and better.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll do a little more planning on that one for the next year. And it was the proper place to do that at the Veterans Memorial area. That was the right place.
Yeah. It was pretty neat.
It was very nice. I've contacted Gillies Funeral Home, again in regards to getting the 2 or 3 bronze military grave markers repaired. 2 of them are set out there with no cement base. I don't know how that happened. And there's another one that fell off the back of his existing headstone. I don't know if Pearl Memorial set that, but it's been that way for some time. So I'm hoping to get all 3 of those issues resolved. Cindy Smith and I, we met with Everett Leesburg at the cemetery. And it's about grave digging at Pleasant View Cemetery, and that's all I know about that subject. Just to make sure everyone is aware, I'm sure everybody knows, but Saturday, June the 14th is Flag Day. And what Flag Day is, it commemorates the adoption of the Stars and Stripes as the official U.S. flag on June the 14th, 1777. Why do we honor the flag, you ask? Thank you for asking. Well, we honor our flag to symbolize our national unity, represents American ideals, and commemorates the sacrifices of those who have died defending our country. It's a symbol of freedom, justice, and the values that we all hold dear as a nation. Also this coming Saturday, and I'm sure you've all seen it on the news the last couple of days, is the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Thank you very much. June the 14th, 1775 marks the day that the Second Continental Congress voted to establish the Continental Army, the first national military force in the United States. And this happened more than a year before the Declaration of Independence was the establishment of the United States Army. So that's pretty neat. There's a lot of stuff going on around the country. I saw some on the news today. There's going to be a big parade in Washington, D.C. Saturday, and I know Lieutenant Gillespie will appreciate all them tanks going down Pennsylvania Avenue Saturday. So I think they're going to have to trailer them. I think the statement was made that them tanks are going to tear that road up if they travel down there. So. One last thing, when I was up there Friday checking grave flags, and I do this every Friday, the grave site for Barbara Patty and her husband, who's a veteran, that headstone, that whole grave site just is not right. There's some topsoil spread out there, that's all fine and dandy. That headstone is not lined up and it's crooked. It's only going to get worse. The recent removal of a lot of the brush and trees up there, that hasn't been satisfactorily completed, and the removal of the lilac bushes and stuff, those sites have not been finished. They haven't been topsoiled, seeded, or any straw placed. There's still some miscellaneous debris flying around up there from when those bushes were removed. And they need to be a follow-up on those that were removed last year. You need to get out there and do a brush or a weed killer and kill those things, or you're going to be right back to those obnoxious bushes growing back. So there needs to be a recurring program of getting rid of this perennial overgrowth that keeps spreading. Short of, the township has the authority to remove those sort of items, and this stuff is taking over. There might even be some grave markers down in there, because I did find one last year tucked in some dead brush. But the McCory gravesite is the worst of the bunch right now, and that stuff is spread out about 20-some feet. And it just looks bad. It just go in there, spray it, kill it, and then they can start mowing it.
But Jim, this board has made that cemetery a priority, and we have spent a lot of money getting rid of a lot of dead stuff, a lot of trees, a lot of limbs. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm just countering. You're making me feel like I haven't done anything else.
No. We've made a lot of improvements. If you go back 4 or 5 years ago, and before this board was in place,
you couldn't see.
Right, there was no Pleasant View at Pleasant View Cemetery.
So one step at a time, be patient with us.
Oh, yeah. But I think the individual that got paid to do some of that.
I don't think he's paid it yet.
No, I just
He
looked it
hasn't,
up.
he hasn't billed us.
Oh.
He hasn't billed us yet, he's not done.
I was just looking it up, just now.
Now, does he follow up with this board as to when he's coming back? I mean, this is like
You should.
I got some personal issues also going on with this individual.
Which one? Oh, yours that did the trees in your yard too?
Correct, and I haven't seen him since April.
Okay. I will check with him again tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I
And
would think,
anytime, stuff like that, Jim, just call me,
yeah.
okay?
But I know you're busy, you're doing 500 million things that,
I always have time for you.
oh my, I tell you.
He considers himself lucky.
But no, I'll get a hold of him and I'll let you know, okay?
That's awesome. That was super good.
Ready?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys got to review the road signs estimate that I got from the road commission for solar signs. Every 2 signs would be $7,000, that doesn't include the post or anything like that. I had asked him about it when we had COVID funds for spruce. He had told me they're hard to keep, maintain. So, I'm just presenting it to the board, in case anyone is interested in doing that.
I'm not jumping on it right now. Did you see that?
Okay. I had an individual approach me and wanted the board to think about it and let him know if he can proceed with it. He's been talking with the Robert Lake Sportsman's Association, another group from Alcona and the Auburn Society for the Birds. And they are looking for granting, and they have money to matching funds, getting grants to put in a bird watching platform and a fishing platform in Holton Creek.
I like that.
And you want to tell them. But,
They did.
I love the idea, but that's up to this board if they want to give them the go-ahead or not.
Well, we are inclined to speak with the residents.
Oh, yeah, we
Right?
can do that, yes. We can tell them that we are openly letting them pursue it, but that they will, if we ever discuss it in a meeting or anything, then they will have to come, they will have the opportunity.
So we're letting them pursue it to present it to us,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
But I am still gonna notify the people down there.
That they're looking into it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not anything that's going to happen, but they want our permission to pursue it, to see what they can come up with.
I think it's a great idea.
I do too. I like the kids fishing platform too.
Yeah, so sending out individual letters to those
I
particular
will probably
individuals.
send an email to the homeowners association president.
Yeah.
All right. There were some issues raised about people that go to our website and can't pull up minutes. I am working with Suter on it. Part of the issue may be what people have as virus protectors. It won't let them open certain documents. So we're working on that, and we may have to upload, I don't know if you guys remember when we first came on the board, Haley wasn't here then, but a website designer, when it was Cindy, Sarah, and I, and Jack and Carrie, just before Cindy, Sarah, and I were there was a website designer that was hired with a credit card. And when we transferred those to Michael Suter later on, some things may not have transferred, we're not sure. So if there was documents that I need to dig out and get from him, I will. But he thinks a lot of it is the virus protector for some documents that are different from the old website. Because Cindy could open them up on her computer.
Yeah, I mean, and even with the library, they said they couldn't get it, and I opened it in front of them and clicked on it, and I could get it, so I don't.
So that's what's the one thought he had, is that it's your virus protectors on your computer. I'm not sure, but we're working on it. And we already did that.
If you skipped ball diamond that you put up there in place of,
Oh, I'm sorry, I did. Okay, now we're there. We don't have to sign, we know everything, but Anthony, you had a good idea?
Well, some people, I had some people reach out and ask about the ball field, I told them to use it. And then a few of them asked about if it would be possible to put a grill up there, like the park, like Folsom Park. So I told them I'd ask about it.
And I think those were like $350 a piece. And the the concrete was donated. So if we did $500, maybe we would be pretty good. The Board of Trustees if that's something we want to do.
Are those so little?
like the ones at Folsom Park, they're kind of this wide with the black, as you see when the state parks a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
They had a great,
I'm just
great.
wondering what was in a ball team.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
You're doing hot dogs.
you can get 20 on there.
Is there some, I would also like to do some work on the fences. For starters, the chains need to be fixed for big starters, and
Yes.
we gotta figure out the painting and stuff too. Yes,
That's what I was gonna say. I highly recommend they replace all those chains.
so,
for the benches, you said the boys.
yeah, then, Austin Building Supplies donated the material, and Mennonite Boys offered their labor to put them in. So. They do nice work.
Well, that was basically what we done, material and.
So, if the board has, first we gotta approve this, or should we just do like $1,000 to do the grill and the
Out of curiosity, only, like, who's asking to use a diamond? Is it like, a team?
Well, there was a couple teams, so season's pretty much over. There's a couple teams that want to like stay playing, and so there's parents talking about going up there.
I think that's awesome. I was just curious if.
Through the summer to keep the kids.
So when I was a kid, I was on a team here, so I'd like to see it come back here. Like,
There's a family on the west side of the lake. There's one of them.
I just like to encourage it, and if we're going to encourage it, then let's do it, but I was just curious.
Sure.
I think if we ever get a seasonal team, we would consider it.
Okay. So just let them know that there's no part of it. All right, so we want to do a motion for like $1,000, put into the ball diamond, and we can get the grill and the swing set.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to spend up to $1,000 on the ball diamond for a grill and upgrades to the playground equipment.
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor? Motion carried. I also have to get Jim a new flagpole spring, he seems to break them.
Oh, yeah, yep. Well, actually, it's called the halyard,
Okay.
the halyard rope. Otherwise known as the rope.
Okay. Okay. So, the newsletter, we can take it off, we can discuss that. The cemetery, Jim raised some issues. One, I will contact Nick. He hasn't billed us, so I'm assuming he's just not done. But the grave got Cindy's blood on them. And I know he's went up twice and fixed it. When he first did it, he took the whole concrete slab that the headstone was sitting on, and it was over on somebody else's grave. It was about that deep where there was no dirt on the grave. And that was Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, so what kind of happened there is who we were going with as a big grave digger wasn't, turned it out, didn't want the job. So I called him back up, and he did it. But he calls me when he gets there, yelling, screaming in the cemetery at me because he didn't want to do that, so it was more than he wanted to do. He said he would do it if you give him another $500, it's the day before and wants it done. And unbeknownst to me, he calls the funeral home, yelling at Gilly's funeral home that they want more money. I went home, got a hold of Gilly's, because they only 2 blocks below. It would have been easier just to go down 2 feet if they were okay with using partial the other side. They got with the whole family. She said, absolutely do that. Don't move the stone at all. Actually, it would have saved her $100 by not moving the stone instead of paying $500 more, which was not our agreed upon price. So I don't feel like we could have done that anyhow. By the time I called her back, half an hour later, said, we're good. Go ahead and do that. Why are we moving the stone now? So after going through all that and speaking with the family, he just did the opposite of what he asked for. So it was probably more about the money than about moving the stone. With that being said, the funeral happened, and I got a call the next day from Gilly's and from the family crying on the state in which it was left. The stone when we got there was level. It's now like on a 30-degree angle at us. All their plants are torn up, which they knew would most likely happen because you have to move that. It's not good. It's not even. If I was to walk through there, I could probably trip very easily and fall. It wasn't done, like you said, the foundation was found on another site, not even close to this, 10, 20 feet away. And then I had calls from other people who just went up there because the Memorial Day weekend's busy, the flags are in, they're putting in flowers for the loved ones, and they're looking at this going, what happened? We don't leave our cemetery like that. They don't even know the family, but they were very disgusted by it. It reflected very poorly on us. And then I got a call, because this is going to go into the bills to be paid, from Gilly's, saying she didn't want to pay for that burial. She was that disappointed and that upset about it. So when we get to bills to be paid, we have some issues here is we never collected the money. But we have a bill to pay and we're probably obligated to pay it. And there's still work that needs to be cleaned up. He said he'd be here by this last Friday to do it. As that happened. More or less, the 3 we had got Etsy fixed last year for free. So in the meantime, hence why Jim and I met with everybody's work. We were going to go a different route entirely. They'll all be hand dug. We got someone new who accepted our rates that they currently are. And kind of done playing this game. We can't do what we're doing. It's not a good reflection on us or the people.
It was great to hear about the ruts in the cemetery last year, but we're gonna have to fix and city come back and fix them.
So if we choose to pay, that's money coming out of the board funds, it's not money collected. And then we're probably gonna have to pay an additional $300. I got a quote from Tom Etsy. I know the person with the equipment to move this like 350 pound stone or 500, it's big. Because the only other 2 guys are the guys who did it or turned the job down, and I know that have heavy equipment. So it's going to cost us an additional $300 to fix it. That's what's presented in those checks tonight.
So at this point, when we pay the bills, we have to decide whether or not we want to pay.
And then pay another $300 for someone else to fix it.
So I think that we should do those 2 issues before we get to the house and pay and separate motions.
Yeah.
Myself personally, if it was in my life, I don't want to bring my township into a lawsuit because we didn't pay, but I think over $600.
$600.
He did too, though.
Yes.
The other one is fine.
That is exactly why I separated out the checks. And I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight. One's fine,
But the other-
one's done. Well, yes.
And it was 3 times, he come back 3 times.
Not without counting, but it's done.
But he never,
For
The formula one's fine, the petty one's not.
he came back and said it's fixed and it wasn't, and he came back again and said it's fixed and it wasn't. And It's a mess. It's still a mess. It's not ours. We haven't put so much into our cemetery.
So, my thoughts are, is if it was me personally, I'm assuming I'm not paying for it. Just like the lady who said, I'm not paying for that work. I don't blame her. I wouldn't either. But we are a township. And the bill was incurred. And I don't want to place anyone in legal trouble over $600. It might be worth it to the man advertise.
If we don't pay him, I think that if we don't pay, you probably have to give him the opportunity to come and fix it right to get paid.
That's also an option. But he's also had a week and a half. I know, I'm just.
But if it comes back to fix that one.
Yeah.
He's come back
We'll
once.
be back in a month. We could pay him and be back in a month. I guess in your perspective, Anthony, I pay him and fix it and be done.
That's what the owner says.
Yeah. And not
I
have
don't
to
believe
do it.
that's right.
I don't even. And I really feel bad about being upset and, that it's caused the family.
You really wouldn't believe how many people non-related to that family are probably over seeing it that way.
I know.
Jim can attest. People will say something if they see it one day, Jim.
Well, yeah, if you're up there, enough people that wander around up there know me, they'll say something.
And Jim, I think you had an email to me before I could even talk to you about it. Like the next day, because you put flags in and saw it.
I went out and dug up the baby.
Did you?
Yeah, he buried that too.
Okay, so it's what to do.
Motion for last week. Or we leave it to those we paid, if you think that's what we should do, leave it to those we paid and we adjust it, fix it.
For the sake of the township, I say pay them and we're done. That's my thought on it.
I think he needs to go back and fix it before we pay him.
He won't, he believes it's fixed.
Yeah, that's your point, and that's okay.
I'm just saying, he does believe that he's fixed it. And it's up to you guys, if you wanna give him another month, give him another month.
Well, there's such thing as pay once the job's completed, right?
Right.
So we can pay the one and we can hold the next one till next month until he completes it. If he doesn't, then we can decide at that time. Because none of us would pay a guy who didn't, or even a girl who didn't complete a job at our homes, right?
I'm just,
Give him a whole month. There should be any excuses.
it's those, ruts when I was in it.
So are we kind of all agreeing to withhold the check until the job's completed?
Yeah.
And we'll come back to the table next month if there's an issue or not.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that?
Well, we'll do it when bills to be paid, because that's what's next, right? So when the bills to be paid, it will be for everything, I can make the motion, but I also wanna add in that I did get, dust control
Oh, that'd be.
bill that I'd like to add to this.
Okay, so we're good to move forward to the bills to be paid?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So, bills to be paid, go ahead and make a motion the way you want it worded.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills with the exception of check 7995 being withheld till the job is complete, and to add in check 7996 for the dust control bill we received. Let me get them out for you. For that.
Also, Cindy, I forgot, when we get done with this, there's something else that I see from that very good.
Okay. Hold on, I'm not done with my motion.
She's gotta add the dollar amount.
Oh, hold on. The amount of check 7996 will be $2,655.35. That's 50%. And it's one of those multiple houses, it's not just one person.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long road, so it's multiple homeowners on one. It's a combined one. So that's my motion.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
I don't know if you noticed, Jim, one of the headstones by Patty's that he moved is chipped.
I didn't notice that one.
It might be his, does he have Mr. Patty have a small one too?
He has a military marker as well as
It's
the
chipped.
headstone.
The corner's busted off.
That's probably been done by the lawnmower.
Okay, you look at it and see, okay? Because it's fresh,
Oh, it is fresh.
yeah.
That was probably the lawnmower.
Sorry.
Okay. It's on the top down. Okay,
There's a few other markers that were hit
okay.
lawnmowers. Then the advantage that you can tell where the sideline is, that when they're shifted.
You look and see, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. County Commissioner. Thanks for making it.
No problem. So tonight, I guess I have a couple things. I have a couple retirements announced from the county. Tom Michael has been, I think he's the longest serving prosecutor in the state of Michigan. It's like 33 years. He is retiring September 1st. It's gonna be huge shoes to fill.
Yes.
I mean, he's spent a lot of time, a lot of 80, 90-hour weeks that, that's for his.
Open door policy.
And then our treasurer, Cheryl Franks, has announced her retirement as of August 4th. Another one, that's gonna be real hard shoes to fill. The deputy treasurer at this time has said that she will take on that responsibility. That's gonna be huge shoes to fill too. And I just wanted to say a little bit about, we're talking about the septic code. That was, turned down, it didn't get out of the committee last year because they didn't have enough votes for it, but, a Democratic senator has a bill this year, but it's not gonna go anywhere. But our governor did approve $7 million to begin a database on where all septic tanks are. I mean, that would be a good thing, other than if they use it in the wrong way. And, just so you talk a bit about Eagle. Eagle has had huge turnovers too. So who knows what this is gonna happen. You have a lot of people with a lot of knowledge that have retired.
Yep.
So, I mean, and I know this is a big deal with the septic tank stuff going on. And we'll see what it's gonna do. I know I'd heard something, you have to have storage for so long before you can spread it.
Well, you have to have storage in order to landify. You can't landify on frozen ground, so you have to have some kind of storage. But you're right about the turnover, because I talked to the head of the program.
Scott Robinson was really good. I mean, he's good to talk with. He's retired.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all gone.
I think there's Spencer McCormick is the new one there, but, so we'll see where that goes. I mean, obviously, when you have new leadership, in which way direction they go, but, for as the septic tank code, they said it's dead in the water, but they somehow think that they still want that. It would, like I said, Mac pushed really hard against it. I mean, we had resolutions with all the health departments up here, because it was just, they were the ones responsible for rolling this out, and they were like, there was no way possible, so. We'll see. I mean, right now, the House is divided. So the Republican Senate is Democratic, so that's not a bad thing. That's how we got last year when it was wrongfully how they took all the rights of our township away from us.
Yes, that was
In
very,
solar, wind, and
Yeah.
battery storage.
Yep.
That's gonna be big.
and people
So,
don't understand, but it's like in our township, I feel like the best I can do is the best for my township, because if we don't work with them, they can just go to
but
the state and it's
there's
easier.
changes coming, I think.
I hope so.
I think there's already people backing out.
Yeah.
And I heard there's huge tariffs on solar panels from China. So all of a sudden, I mean, but it's
Wait
unfortunately
and
just,
see.
that's where we're at. So anyways, that's kind of report. Other than that, we're just plugging along, a lot of things, summertime. But like I said, if you see Tom's was right by yours, so.
Yep.
And I mean, as much as I don't want him to retire, I mean, he's put up with and helped our county for a lot of years. So, anyway, I don't think you can see him.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Adjourn.
It's okay. That's why I just said it louder.
You guys all behave yourselves over here?
Yes, sir.